we are live.
We're
probably already live.
Fortunately, the music was playing and nobody could hear a damn thing. So they couldn't hear you talking about your tentacle fetish again. God, Geek, you're the worst. Sharing is caring, but not always. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Mithril. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Alchemy bench. It's the same rigors of like me, some random geek, John Brockman over there with no Sasha on the cam right now. That will
Because
fix
he's
once
down
Sasha
here.
decides. Oh,
Let's see.
cat being the cat. It's like, yes, there's the Sasha, there's the cat. Also, Isaiah Taylor is with us. Hello, Jordan P. You made it this time, Jordan P. And of course, our one and only friend,
That's how I did
Lynnaquin.
it.
Yes, that's how you did it. Lynnaquin, who's currently right now setting up like a webcam or a digital webcam to like show off her avatar, as it were. So welcome in, lads, lasses, and NB badasses. How's everyone's going? How's everyone's week? How's everyone been? I will also be sharing around the like link to all the places on the interwebs and stuff like that. So talk amongst yourselves.
No.
Well, everything's going good for me. No. I actually lost my job at FSU at the college here,
Mm.
where there was almost a
FSU.
match.
So not Okafunuki. Okoa?
Sorry,
I shouldn't dox you.
I don't know what you just said.
I'm just trying to work out around about what town you live in. I used to live in Gainesville, so I
No,
am
it's
somewhat familiar with Central Florida, North Central Florida.
it's in Tallahassee.
Oh, then what was I thinking of? Oh, I was thinking of Florida Southern.
Yeah. So now I gotta find another job now.
Mm-hmm.
Have you considered murder
I,
for hire? It can be quite
no,
profitable and fun, depending on who you get to kill.
no, but I did apply for unemployment. So
That's good.
That's pretty much the same thing. Because you're killing capitalism. Why would you do that? You're killing your own entrepreneurial spirit. Lift yourself up by your bootstraps.
There's definitely some people that would think that you're killing capitalism if you're on unemployment, so definitely. Hey, we got a Prince X in the call now. We can see someone there. Hello.
Hello, everybody. Sorry.
well, I love that avatar.
Mm-hmm.
What
I'm
avatar?
having.
All I see is a symbol and a dead camera.
Oh, it
There's
came
the
up.
avatar.
It came up. Oh, there it came up. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I was like so focused. I had to do something wonky in VC Face and not OBS.
Yeah. Yeah, these things can be like wonky in this war. So it's like, hello Phoenix, how are you doing? Some positive news, maybe getting new like a rental house to sort out in the next 10 years or so. That's good. Hello AMC, welcome in. OC is like way outside of Italy. Yes, exactly.
Oh my goodness,
Okay,
the
yeah,
Wizards of the Coast thing. I just noticed that was up on there.
Yes. So yes. I think I already got it. The like, how's everything this war? So, well, I'll say it again. How's everything? I've forgotten what I just said.
Everything is fine. So long as
Everything
you
is
don't,
awesome.
take advantage of the 0G gaming license.
Yes. So that's the major thing that's like happened. It took me way too long to even get myself like kind together to the gay. That's hard. It's hard to hear that like Phoenix is where USF is actually in like Tampa for no good reason, and on Miami. Yeah, makes sense. EMC. The colleges are just weird, and universities are just weird. So
Yeah.
I didn't eat breakfast and like water till noon,
Florida
and then got.
State. Let's see. Yep.
University of
Seminoles.
Florida is in Gainesville.
Okay, yeah.
The team in the FSU team is called the Seminoles.
And they have a. Let's see, are they the ones that have the white person doing random dances, or are they the ones that actually ask the natives for help?
They asked the natives permission to use.
Yeah, that's right. It's up in Indiana that they just make shit up.
So yeah, our football team is called the Seminoles.
Yeah, sorry about that, Phoenix. That was because Patreon is stupid and demanded that I fill out a W-9 before it would let me do stuff, and then didn't give me the option to fill out a W-9. So stuff's not going through.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, also a helpful reminder to give Phoenix money.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry links that page, and
because until and unless they let me fill out the paperwork, then people just ain't gonna get paid.
Yeah.
all right. So like, what's going on with like Wizards of the Coast?
Eh.
They want to make more money, so they're changing the rules to make it more difficult for people to do stuff, and so that they can make more money. Oh no, you didn't really, Phoenix. I don't feel bad. it's on Patreon.
Yeah.
I did hear they rescinded some of it, but it's I don't know.
They are responding to the backlash. They are desperately trying to pretend they didn't mean what they were doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did like Awu Tavi, hello, how are you doing? I did
Thank you, Taffy.
lift your I can't do lift yourself up by your bootsucks. I can't, you won't give me money for boots. So like you're bloodsucking capitalist. It's like that's the thing sometimes with like this people don't understand poverty. It's like you're assuming I have bootstraps. That's a word. Don't you understand? Because how can I lift myself up if I don't have the like boots to do so?
What if the employment you have is very stagnant? Because as someone who's done custodial work, even though I could do much more than that, sometimes that's just all you can find.
And that is a job that does not pay well because we hate people who do things that are actually helpful.
Right. We seem and this is kind of why when that football player got hurt, I forgot the dude's name. He was like a football player and he
Suffered cardiac arrest.
I don't know. I didn't really care too much because like I don't get why we pay people
Damar
like
Hamlin.
that. I don't get why we pay people like that to do a job that anyone can technically do when we pay custodians less. I don't get it. But
well, the thing about like the athletes doesn't work, and this people always talk about this. Why do we pay like why is ex-athlete just one athlete is paid so much while it's like teachers are paid so little? It's like, well, the A is kind of like that shows you of like how much like the society or like remember like the private sports teams are private sports teams. They're like privately owned companies, and they pay Alice Rodriguez, for example, $250 million a year, something like that, or $25 million a year, whatever, like that big 10-year contract he had with the Texas Rangers, as it were, because the Texas Rangers feel that he was worth that much, and then got traded to the Yankees because he just wanted to play for the Yankees. He just wanted to play for a World Series team. That's seriously what he wanted to do. It's all for his own like ego. And it's
You're
like,
absolutely right, Tubby. It is the circus, meaning the Circus Maximus, meaning they're gladiators.
Yes, exactly.
They're sacrificing their
with, like-
bodies and their lives for white people's entertainment.
and then,
Exactly.
Not wrong.
yeah. And then what they'll do after that, they'll then like blame you. It's like, did you go to school? Did you go to college? Yes.
And
As
now
many
I
of them
have
have
6
to-
figures in student loan debt that goes up every month, despite how hard I try to pay it.
Well, you should have not went to college. You should have just gotten a shitty job like I did, like doing plumbing. I'm trying to be one of those asshole like commenters on like a YouTube video that discusses
You're doing
poverty.
a good job of it.
Yeah, I know.
Shoot, I live in northern Indiana. I live in that kind of area.
Yes, you live near Notre Dame. Remember, people, Notre Dame is a fighting Irish college. Notre Dame is the cathedral in France. Remember that pronunciation. That's the key difference here.
One is
Which, I mean,
pronounced
both are
correctly, the
part
other
of-
one is pronounced American.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's funny because like Notre Dame is still part of Our Lady of the Fatima, which is a French order. But the reason why it's the Fighting Irish is because it was built by the local Irish at the time, and so people would call them Fighting Irish to mock them, and they just like the Irish in the school just kind of like went with it and used it as a reclaim thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot
Alright.
of stuff out there that is really racist against the Irish. Once you learn about it.
Yes.
Paddy wagon.
Yeah.
Because guys
Lucky
named
dip.
Patrick get drunk, get in fights, get arrested, and get picked up by the constables and put in the back of the wagon.
Yeah.
It's the Irish buggy. It's a
Lucky
wheelbarrow
charm.
because they get drunk and have to be carried home at the end of the night. Irish
charm.
confetti means cobblestones because they pull the cobblestones out of the street when they get drunk and riot. And Irish twins for kids who are born 9 months apart because the Irish just can't stop fucking.
What
Yeah,
about, what about Lucky Charms?
Oh, that's just blatant racism.
Yes,
And then there was
exactly.
hooligans too,
Yes.
which was a direct reference to the Houlihan family.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yes, that noise. Irish was the slower one time because, like, even like the Blazing Saddles, they would say, "Well, except the black people and the Chinese people, but we don't want the Irish," as it were, because, like, yes, there's like Irish before they finally got integrated to being like white, sometime in the 1960s, I guess.
They were white. They were white people who were treated even worse than black folks.
No.
In some places.
Well, they were treated worse than black folks in some places only because black people weren't in those places to be treated
Yeah,
badly.
exactly.
It's like in Chicago in 1885, black people weren't treated badly because the black person in Chicago was called Dave. Because that was the black guy in
Yes.
Chicago's name.
And believe it or not, and one comedian has like played this. It's like there's like a KKK in Montana. Why is a KKK in Montana? We're against Jerome and Tyrone. It's just like you're against the only two black people that are there. Now, probably the KKK is there to ensure that there's only those two black people there because those are the two black people that tolerate. But like, yeah, so you get like white supremacists just in odd places.
As long as they stay working as a custodian, they're okay. I don't want them like doing any important shit.
That's honestly that's kind of the thing with like racism as it is. Like sometimes you don't get people to outright say this, but sometimes you can get them to admit that. But most of the times, like it's not directly at the black person that's down the street that they know. They just don't want the undesirables, which is like the black people from Chicago. Do you hear about the gun crimes in Chicago and stuff like that? So like, okay,
Did you hear about the fact that Chicago has some of the loosest gun laws in the country, so people can just bring that shit into the city?
I don't think
Yeah.
that's true. I think Illinois has actually pretty good like gun laws, but older
Yeah, Illinois
surrounding
has some of the
states-
strictest gun laws. It's just that their neighbors are Wisconsin. Which
In
Yes.
Indiana, like most guns coming into Chicago are coming from where I live
Mhm. Yeah.
Have
because
you ever,
it's
Lynnaquin, have you ever been to Terre Haute, Indiana? Because that's where they put a lot of people to death.
no, I haven't. I try to not be in Indiana as much as I can.
Mhm.
I
yeah, it's
hate
like you enter
Indiana.
Indiana and you are just surrounded by the stench of manure in corn goblins.
In like two-way trucks.
Mhm.
So many two-way trucks.
What's 2A truck?
Second Amendment.
Okay.
Like literally trucks with giant
2A,
American
not
flags
2
flying
way.
in the back.
I don't fucking know any of that shit.
Yeah, it's like just a bunch of redneck trucks with like not the
It's
actual
the
term
dipshits
redneck,
with the
but-
truck nuts who like to roll coal.
Oh no,
Yeah.
yeah. I call them lynch trucks. That's what I call them.
That's kind of accurate.
Zimmerman mobiles. Yeah, we get it.
I use a term I can't use on YouTube just because it uses the word for a piece of anatomy.
Mhm.
Here's why I call them lynch trucks, because there was a hate crime that happened in Texas in like the late 90s where like these two redneck assholes lynched the black guy by their truck.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did a video about it.
Oh yeah. It's
And then,
stuff like that.
actually, was that? I thought it was Texas where they dragged it behind their truck.
It was Texas. It's the story of James Byrd Jr. And it happened like in the late 90s. So if anyone thinks this shit was like ancient, no.
I was in high school. That was when 40% of the state of South Carolina voted not to remove the ban on interracial marriage from the state constitution.
Yeah. Unless you're strong Thurman.
Oh, Sean Thurman.
sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Wesley, but you're gonna have to lose your phone.
So we went through a lot of tough this. I call them run over trucks because they are most likely to crash into you. And hello, Groundhog, and hello, Staff Noise. How's everyone been? Yes, anarchists and like Groundhog 20 yes, exactly. If I'm gonna like pick up my Miss Daughter and be back in about half an hour or so. Okay, Mithril, take care later on. Especially you're a cyclist. Oh, that's right.
Ooh.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, especially again, like Lynnaquin was about to bring up the distinction about rednecks. Rednecks was like a actual like leftist turn of like a labor union activist, as it were. It's just like rednecks as over the course of time, just how like languages is became to be known as like I guess what you would call hillbillies, as it were, just like
Or not even hillbilly, hick.
hick. Yeah, that's a good
Hick.
word, as it were.
Yeah, because hillbilly is the farmers who came up from Appalachia to Michigan.
That's right. That's right. That would make sense actually with that etymology. That's where for
And hick is a reference to old-fashioned nicknames.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah,
that.
because it used to be people gave rhyming nicknames. That's how you go from Richard to Rick to Dick to Hick, or
That makes
Margaret
sense.
to Meg to Peg.
No, yes.
Robin,
Venus.
Rob, Dob, Hob. But
Jonathan,
only
John.
a hick from the sticks would have an old-fashioned nickname like Hick.
Oh, that's actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm. And that's also the origin of the start of the rhyme. Hickory Dickory Dock is the name of the three mice that ran up the clock.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And down came the rain and washed them all about.
No, that was a spider.
Yes. Is that the spider that ate the fly that like is in the woman's belly?
No, that was the old woman with the kink. God. Some people are just really into vor. I don't get it. I don't judge.
I mean, what?
It's just like
I mean, these days, you go on the video, look for an old woman swallowing a horse. You're not going to find that poem.
Have safe search on if you're trying to look for that old nursery rhyme. That's I mean, it's so strange when you just like I was just looking for Denison Menace for like a screenshot I was going to use for like a YouTube video,
and you ended up falling down a Rule 34 spiral, and now you have a new fetish.
DuckDuckGo was a lot.
You never know what you can use a Zing Spot for until you try.
It's like you gotta be very careful to have your safe search on when you search up Gajinki.
Yes. Oh, again, like I said before, it's just like I've seen some of these fetishes in some of the hentai I've seen, but never knew that was an actual fetish until like someone explained to me what vor is, and just like, oh, that explains what I've watched before. I still don't understand the enemas though. It's just like. And one of a time for the asexual like wolf to enter the call when there's a talk about kink and sex stuff, as it were.
I could actually talk at length about that particular kink, the culture that's into it, and the reasons why people get into it. However, we are on YouTube, and I'm not going to do that.
Hello, Tabby.
Hey, Tabby.
And hello, Lucidia. Thank you, Free Council. Thanks for coming in. Quickly, Tabby. Yeah, wow, Vor, what a place to come in and stream. Yes, Lucidia.
You know what's really fun is reading like 60s and 70s, 50s, 60s, 70s, sci-fi and fantasy, and have all these people just totally out themselves as absolute kinksters who don't realize that not everyone is into their shit.
You mean
like
the
Ayn Rand is such a strong capitalist because she really, really is into rape play. And
That's
let's
like
see, what's his name? Piers Anthony is a pedophile.
Yes.
I mean, and then there's the guy who wrote Gore, but that's Gor. It's a fantasy series. Okay. But he was just open that was just totally his kink. He didn't pretend.
I strangely own like 6 of the Gore books. I got them at a garage sale. I've never read them, but I strangely own 6 of them.
So yeah, so let's cover the big topic as well, especially since many of us and many of our audience members play tabletop role-playing games and Dungeons and Dragons specifically. Wizards of the Coast, what did they do?
I gotta bring
Sorry about that.
So Wizards of the Coast is trying to top us. What's going on?
One day I'm gonna figure out how to add an avatar like Lynnaquin did.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. It's not hard. Like if you can like screw around with a program Vroid, it's easy to make the virtual avatars. Then you can just like use VC face and a webcam. Is basically all I do.
Say that again.
I use Vroid to make the avatar. Then I used VC face to spell VEESEEFACE
Like a free software or something.
Yeah, both are free.
All right.
Oh.
I'll type both of those programs in the chat for everyone to like research later on, because like many like VTubers like use those like free like programs because like they're free and like it's easy to use. Even like Groundhog 2010 in chat also like has used both or either or as well, and you have it as well.
Yep. Yeah. Not too hard to use.
Okay.
It does take. There is a learning curve, particularly making your own Vroid avatar and getting it to where you're satisfied with it will take several hours without having the skills ahead of time.
And learning how to make horns can be hard too.
Oh yeah, like if you want anything beyond like the Vroid is very good at the typical anime character with the hair and stuff like that. But if you want to go wild with like horns or furry features or something, it's going to take a lot more work. There's there are YouTube tutorials. You don't need to be an artist. I'm not really an artist, and I made one.
I'm an artist. I just do
Needs patience.
other stuff.
Well, you do a lot of impressive like model making. Again, you made a model of a X-wing fighter, homemade. That's the impressive thing. Because you have made other models. You actually get like models of like the Titanic and stuff like that, and like that's so impressive too. Especially how you add lights to those things too. And remember that Isaiah has Instagram, but that X-wing model that he just showed off, handmade. That's like paper and like other plastic things, as it were.
I made it back in 2016 for Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, so here at the IMAX. IMAX Theater, where apparently they're releasing Titanic again for the 25th anniversary.
Oh yes, it's been that long.
So I will be displaying all my Titanic stuff at the IMAX.
That's actually really cool. Yeah,
that's cool.
Including the model I
Don't
made.
forget to put out a little box saying "Give me money so I can make more of these," and make sure to dress up the box and give it a little face so that people think it's cute. They'll be more likely to give it money if they get to feed the box. Like put a little tongue sticking out of the little hole on top.
I'm hoping
Not wrong.
I'm hoping the local news covers it so I can then be on TV.
Cool.
I mean, the other reason for like a young and black autistic kid to be on TV, that's a good reason to be on the news.
Well, at least we're not shooting each other. I give you that.
Yes. Hello, Alexandra. How you doing? And unfortunately, yes, Alexandra, the like emotes on like YouTube are a bit lacking compared to like Twitch as were. We have all distracted ourselves, including myself as well. So like Wizards of the Coast, like the OpenGL and the like thing. So it was just like, and they also like took it back for like
kinda. And I've got the page up if anyone of like the latest statement they made. There's some language there that I'm like, yeah, this is an apology. Okay, that is the latest thing from Wizards as far as I know.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they're really saying it's just like, oh, that went badly.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
It's so like yeah, and I just watched the Legal Eagle video
Oh, I
that
just watched that one too.
get out yesterday, and I thought it was like quite good. So it's kind of like
Yeah. Sorry.
it's no, I'm done there. Like anyone can pick up from like there. Down with like a WTC and like up for independent creators. No, Lux Central, I agree with that. And like, I love Magic the Gathering, but like yeah, Wizard Coast. I don't know if this is like a Hasbro thing or Wizard Coast. I think it's like more Wizard Coast that just happened to be owned by Hasbro. So it's like, yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was a hat. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say like there in terms of like the behind the scenes who is pulling the strings thing, the whole way corporations work, we don't know.
true.
The big joke going around is, or the big rumor is, they hired some people who left GW,
Games
and
Workshop.
that's actually why Magic's been digging itself a hole by releasing so many releases in short concession.
Oh, you can't buy people can't collect them fast enough then.
Yeah, and like no one even knows what cards are coming from what sets anymore because they're releasing so many things. And the big belief is they hired some people from Games Workshop for the business end of things. And Games Workshop, tabletop war games can release a lot of stuff quickly because not everyone's going to want to buy everything.
True.
You can't do that with a TCG.
No, because like competitive players definitely want to buy all the things and just like play test endlessly to find out what's the new next meta and what is like the broken combo as well. Now the home brewers can like love it and the Johnnies can like love it, but then even then can like be those people can be overwhelmed with how much content you give out. So when I play Magic, I was used to like this set, and then there'll be like specialty like commander or something like that. But some of those cards are not like part of the legal like standards and sort of things. So it's just like it's like every quarter there's like the new set, and that'll be a new set, and some are small and some are big, and so that way you can get used to the new cards and new meta in relative like time. But like what has Wizard Coast been doing since I left? I know about the collab's been doing like Walking Dead, and like I'm not surprised with the Game Workshop things, and that can be kind of cool. But like what have they been releasing more sets in like in a year or something?
4 big sets a year. Every big set gets a commander product. Then there's also the secret layers, which that's a whole box of worms, and those are like something like what 2 or 3 a month, and those are basically like $40 for 15 cards. Some of them are only in secret layer, but are legal. And then there's at least 2 side.
Is there illegal D&D stuff? Like, is there like pot D&D?
Oh, we're talking about Magic now.
Yeah, Magic. Like, there's just so many products coming out.
No, I don't think so.
Hey, kid, you want to try some cards?
Then they did the stupid 30th anniversary thing, like $999 for 4 packs of not legal cards.
That's right. Where it's just like it's one thing to like reprint from the restricted list. They had that issue before, like way back when with Chronicles, because like unfortunately with like collectors, as it were, like with Magic the Gathering, collectible card game, as it were. Oh, trading card game. They have the trademark on that. All the other companies just play out collectible card game, and so they have, which is a good thing to have, like the Pokemon trading collectible card game and the Yu-Gi-Oh and that sort of thing too. But they're just not trading card games, collectible card games, blah. But like it's because the collectors of Magic the Gathering cards, I have like met players that have a like insurance on their collection of legacy cards and vintage cards. And so whenever Wizards of the Coast reprinted cards, that devalues their collection, and just like it, yeah. So that's what they did with the 30th anniversary in part, is that they reprinted cards. They said they were never reprinted, so going back on their word there. But also like they're not standard legal cards. You can't use those in tournaments or legacy tournaments or vintage tournaments because
they don't have the same backs.
Oh God.
Yeah. They have like the 30th anniversary logo on the back.
This makes it all just really complicated if you're a Magic the Gathering player. It seems like to know what you actually want.
Yeah,
and
well, I recall it being very complicated 20 years ago.
Yes, but it's it was already at that time like kind of tricky for, like, say, parents and grandparents. Like, I just want to buy my kids stuff for, birthday and holiday, and what buy?
You know what? Fuck it. We're going back to Pogs.
Hey, that way Neil Gaiman might be able to make another $34 on the medieval spawn Pog.
I remember Pogs. Yeah, it's just like I had a thought, then Pogs were like mentioned, and I was like, I lost that thought. It's but like, go ahead, anyone.
Where we're going to?
I don't think I've ever played. I've played a game called Magic that has cards, but I don't think it was Magic the Gathering.
Did you have to put down land and then tap it for mana?
No.
Okay, that wasn't Magic the Gathering. And some people said like, no, you can put your land in front, but like others said like, no, he's land in the back, and just like apparently it was only one time in like unlimited. Yeah, put your lands in front, and some players always put their lands in front. But then like Wizards of the Coast said like, no, for tournaments this gets confusing. Please always have the lands in the back, as it were. It's like I was always taught to have lands in the back, and it's like, whatever.
I hate that they've made it like tournament legal to have, or only tournament legal to have your deck on the right hand because I play left-handed.
Oh,
that's an onerous, overly specific rule.
Well, it's because sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Lincoln.
It's because the aftermath cards have to be, and like I play all legacy formats, so the aftermath cards have to be sideways, so the aftermath part is showing in the graveyard. So it can't do that on the left hand unless they're like upside down.
It's because I know why the Wizard of the Coast actually had to demand it for a television broadcast or online broadcast, as were of the lands in the back and the rest of the cards in the front in the battlefield or the plains, is because of one player. I forgot his name actually, but he put his lands and cards upside down to show to his opponents like, these are my cards, as were. That was just totally confusing to all the viewers, as were, that the commentators had to like remind the audience each and every time that's just how that player arranges cards. And it's like, I can see why he does that to like benefit the opponents, as it were. It's like, yeah, these are my cards, I know what they do, but like you can read them as it were. And hey, Comrade Bot.
Comrade I don't play with expensive cards, I just play old cards.
I have my one legacy deck because like Grand Prix Seattle was PC, so I bought like a couple of Badlands and like and Chain Lightnings for like Bob Bolts, as it were. It's a dark burn deck with Dark Confidant, essentially.
Wait, is Legacy where you just play with old cards?
Yes.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
But like,
the comment about that being 1% of Magic players baffles me. Granted, I stopped.
Well,
playing,
because
like,
it means that you've been
2000s.
playing for decades and you have this really extensive collection, and you
that
can pull out
wasn't
really
what
good
it used
combos.
to mean.
yes.
Yeah.
It used to just be if like you were constantly playing quote unquote Type 1, which is you were playing with old cards and you weren't playing the latest edition.
Yes.
It was just
Yeah.
constantly buying the new edition so you could play Type 2.
Yes.
Is a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
So you would just keep playing the game with your cards you already had, and you had some new cards, but you couldn't afford to buy like enough cards to make a deck that was specifically Type 2. So a lot of like my friends and I back in like the early 2000s, we just played quote unquote Type 1 because we just collected cards and then played the game.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Free to play. Well, not free to play, but it's like those free to play games. It's pay to win, and that's how it's always been.
Oh, really quickly.
That only applies to tournament play. It doesn't apply to
kitchen top
what
table.
I remember of just random people just casually playing the game.
Really quickly, with Comrade Ibot, like, legacy decks can cost up to like $15,000 or more. But I don't own
the ones that people play in tournaments.
Yeah, I don't own any dual lands. I've been playing since 94, 95. But when I say I play legacy formats, I mean I should be saying I play Eternal format because I don't actually play legacy. I'm mainly a Commander, CEDH, and Leviathan player. So,
yeah, exactly.
Back in like 2002 or something, when I got to go to a convention and play in a bunch of those like Type 1 things with all those ridiculously like expensive, they call it like the $40,000 solution decks. I did actually manage to come up with a deck using a bunch of common and uncommon shit that beat that expensive deck.
Yeah.
So I got about like halfway through that tournament. It was like, no, I didn't win the tournament, but I was able to beat the deck that I was like, oh, you have to buy all these expensive cards, you won't win. I figured out a way to beat it.
Yeah, if you're good at the game, you can overcome the cost barrier without expensive cards. It's just
and just like
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You finish your point.
I was just going to say it's just you just gotta be like really aware of every interaction and like effects.
Yeah.
But then also like people can always like do cheap versions of like those kind of legacy decks. It's the best cards to use. It are some expensive because like they were only like printed so like long ago, like in beta revised and stuff like that, like the jewels or the classic dual lands. I bought the bad lands, but if I wanted to, I could use blood crypts instead, the shock lands. So people have always done that. They have like the best versions that they have that are cheaper, and they can still compete because like there's still the randomization factor in Magic the Gathering, which they have changed with some of the new Molken rules. It used to be like you had like just Molken down to like 5 cards, 6 cards, and some people Molken down to 4 cards because they finally got a land because like the randomization of it. But then they switched it to like, okay, after you Molken, you can scry 1, but now it's like if you Molken, but you pick the cards you can like you're going to keep down to 3, 5, 6, or 4, whatever. But then the other cards you're not going to keep, you have to put on the bottom of the library. That's the latest Molken rule I know now. I have not played a single sanctioned tournament yet with those rules and stuff like that. And that's the thing is also like with Legacy is like, yeah, it's internal format, but there are certain cards that are banned as well. But then there's the other internal format using real codes called Vintage. And that's where that one you can use the Black Lotus, which was only like printed in the first set ever and never reprinted.
They didn't realize how broken it was.
Called Type 1.
Yes.
It did not used to be that. I really just got out of Magic the Gathering because I couldn't find people. I wasn't I didn't have the time to play, and it got so hecking expensive. And everybody's all like, "You need to be playing Type 2." Like I can't afford to play Type 2.
Yeah,
I can't. I have cards. I had like several hundred cards. And I eventually sold them because I need the money.
I might do
but
that.
It's like it's the game demands that you continually buy the newest stuff, or you can't play. And I'm like,
true.
That's kind of why my hobbies have simply been modeling.
That's why I like war games.
Don't mind me simming as I shuffle my Magic the Gathering deck. This one is like a black-white. I think it's black-white control from like no, it's tokens. This were I've got the like standard where this was from. Zendikar.
See, that's why I like war games. You can buy your army and it'll be good for like the 20, 30 years.
Yeah, that's true. And also with like Magic the Gathering, you just never know with like what common card is just going to be like highly sought after because of like bannings.
Or you could go outside and hit each other with sticks and throw rocks at each other like real people. God. Fucking
I did that too.
I might have done that as a kid. A lot.
I'm a HEMA fan. I do that all the time.
I might have touched grass before, but come on, I'm allergic to the grass. I burn in the sun, and the bugs pee and poop and have sex in the grass too. Why do I want to touch that?
I have so many feelings about that touch grass meme.
Yes. It's also ableist to insist that people go outside because some people it's difficult to go outside.
And classist when you think about who has access to a lawn.
I thankfully don't. I live in an apartment.
Yeah, some people have to get on the bus or subway for like 15 minutes to find grass.
Yeah.
No, that's true. Considering the cities that we're in, there's still trees in cities, but they don't bear fruit. They don't.
Yes, quite famously, a tree grows in Brooklyn.
Welcome back, Metro. So Wizard of the Coast is just like it's been several decisions with Magic the Gathering. I'm sure that like I don't know what players are happy with like Magic the Gathering now. I've like been a loop with that as well. The competitive players have always had their opinions on things, as for sure. And like when like the Walking Dead collab like happened, they were like if these ones are standard legal. And there can't be good, powerful cards that you need to have like 4 copies of in this one deck you want to play, something like that. Are we going to have to like buy these like special edition, limited edition, like Walking Dead cards in order to like say competitive this were? And some of these players have like 6-figure salaries, so they don't again they have a insurance on their collection, as it were, so they don't have a problem like doing that. They'll just like, oh, whatever, there's more cards for me to buy and something like that, and they never complain about the cost of like the game as well. And some of them would like accept the challenge of like a foiled legacy deck. Go ahead.
To be fair, though, the Magic the Gathering thing got so bad that the bank handling their stock downgraded the class of their stock by 2 grades.
Dang.
That's right.
So from strong buy to buy?
Strong buy to I don't know what's the one under,
hold,
under buy. Yeah,
Hold.
because that's how that's how bad the stock is. The Bank of America is like, nope, the stock's going down in class.
Right. Okay.
And then they pulled the OGL.
Right. So if I just remember from the legal video, how it used to be, because with like a trademark and
basically you were allowed to make whatever you wanted using D&D rules, so long as anyone else could use your stuff.
Yes.
You could sell it, but everyone else had to be able to use your story. You couldn't. There was no copyright, basically. But now you have to report to them how much you've made every year.
Oh yes, right. Because like that's what the change that like everyone's pissed about with the OGL 1.1. Because
the impression I was getting from the people who read I guess it's like a 900-page document or something now, and you still only need a couple pages, was that, well, one, in order to even use the OGL, you now have to go through like this great big giant document.
Mm-hmm. They'll send you a thing saying you're allowed to use their rule set. And then they technically own whatever you make or something like that. They can take it back.
Yep.
They just want to, so if anything you make starts making lots of money, they can take it back and make money from it instead.
Which there is a point about very, very few people make $750,000 a year.
Yeah.
But if you have to go through the onerous thing of constantly reporting stuff back to Wizards.
Now,
every year.
One of the updates on that, though, is they have made it clear in the wording that the wording was bad, and they are changing the wording when it deals with streamers, content creators, and Patreon, that those don't actually count.
Yeah, the Patreon thing did not count. They did say that.
Yeah, that was a mistake on their part that they worded that poorly. I think that was on purpose. I won't lie. Because ambiguity allows them to
go through
change.
And read that shit.
Yeah,
they forgot they're dealing with fucking nerds.
Yeah, 425.
The fucking nerds that have like several copies of rule books.
Yeah. Don't forget those
nerds that invented Pun, the killer kobold god.
Yeah, don't forget though, 425 pages of that is the SRD. So it's still a lot of pages. It's still like 500 pages of new text.
SRD. Quickly remind me, SRD, what that stands for.
SRD is just a standard rules document.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
The standard rules document is just what you can use. So, like, because I've dealt with the DMs Guild, I have like a copy of the SRD on my computer, that kind of stuff. So,
if you're on Facebook, SRD stands for some random dicks.
Oh god, Facebook. It's Mithra. I did not hear about like Wizard of the Coast is also trying to like cut out like small gaming shops too. So yeah, screw Wizard of the Coast for that. The local game shops are the kind of the bread and butter, because the whole point of like they were always aware of the secondhand market, as it were, which is not like it's a black market, but no, secondhand, and like the local game shops. Yeah, local game shops always like sell like cars, and like players would sell their cards to the game shops for like usually like trading credits or sometimes for cash, but you get less money depending on the shop for like cash as they're trading. So that's always the thing. But that's how like Wizards of the Coast like make their money. It was mostly the shops and the retailers, and or like even the big ones of like Channel Fireball or like Star City Games and stuff like that. They will buy a whole bunch of the product of the next set to try to unopen and get whatever is the latest rares and mythics that's going to be in the pack that's going to see tournament play. And then when they did the special super fancy art editions first in Zendikar with the lands, as it were, and then it was like artifacts in Kaladesh, as it were. It's very rare, like only one out of like 36 packs or something like that, and it's a foil new art, as it were. It looks really good and fancy, and like in order to get like a whole playset of those, Star City Games probably had to like open up thousands and thousands of booster boxes of like Zendikar, a return to Zendikar. So it's just like the Wizard Coast relies on small gaming shops to buy their products, honestly, and yet like they screw them over. I don't know the details because like the Mithril is just like mentioning that they're screwing over the small counter shops, but screwed over like that. It's like, why would you do that? I don't know.
Yeah, half the products coming out aren't available in local game stores anymore, or are only available on online stores through Wizards of the Coast, through like Amazon and stuff. Like, so a bunch of products are never even hitting the game stores now. I've been following all this drama heavily.
Again,
like the existence of the game stores also because game stores frequently would host play events.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course, the game stores would then make their money through selling snacks.
Snacks and, well, if it was Magic the Gathering, constantly selling little expansion packs because people hang out and they'd be just like, oh, I feel like buying a few packs.
Sleeves. There are so many sleeves I've bought. I started also buying anime sleeves. It's anime sleeves from Japan. So like I spent
and from there we're
like
going to start talking about different kinds of sleeves. Keep it family friendly.
Oh my goodness! And it goes full circle back to the vor.
I actually have those sleeves as well, but I won't show them on YouTube, even though I have shown them on YouTube before. Not the full thing, just like the casing that they're in. Yes, I have 5 of them. I have the alien one. Yes, okay, I'll stop there. Okay, Metro, that makes a lot of sense now. Apparently the new CEO of Hasbro / Wizard of the Coast is a former Scum's Amazon executive. So totally. Yep, maximize as much profit as you can for the short-term gain.
There was I remember like an article a while ago, like people were following stuff about the whole 1D&D thing, and like somebody at Wizards commenting that they like I think somebody more at Hasbro that they wanted to monetize the heck out of Dungeons and Dragons more. And apparently their big beef was so 1D&D doesn't just have like the OGL thing going on in it that people have been watching and raising some eyebrows. It's also had like the signs they want to like centralize this digital market. Yeah. Right now, the digital market is all over the place in a lot of different places, and that means if you go to those different places, you will also encounter all of the other TTRPGs out there. Like, I mean, everybody knows about World of Darkness, like Blaze in the Dark. Shout out to Magical Land of Yeld. Game a friend of mine promotes Magical Land of Yeld indie game. They're paying what you want right now in response to this.
Oh, wow. Nice. That's the one that like our friend like Arson3 Maya works on, and Emma Boyd works on.
Maya is the friend who pointed this out to me.
Nice.
Looking at it, what's his name? The new CEO of Hasbro was the former president of Wizards of the Coast for 5 years, 9 months. Before that, he was vice president of technical sales at Microsoft.
Jeez.
So not an Amazon dude, but still a douche.
One good thing coming out of the whole OGL thing, though, is like 4 companies are making their own OGLs: Modiphius, Paizo, Kobold, and Critical Role themselves.
Oh, wow.
I have found the Twitter account of the Magic Yan of Yale. So
what's
like that
Twitter?
should like this place that like no one wants to go to anymore because it's owned by like a douche canoe that like ruined the like a site for everyone. But
so it's kind of like Mastodon but for Nazis.
Yes. No.
It was also kind of a hell site even before he bought it.
But here's the official website for the Magical Land of Yale, yalestuff.com. But yeah. I guess the Wizards goes to say oopsie by what they were doing with the OGL 1.1.
This is terrible. People found out what we were going to do.
the way they said it was kind of insulting.
Mm-hmm.
Or if I go on some highlights,
Sure.
They started it out with I think I linked it before. I'll link it again.
Okay. Yeah. No problem.
Oh yeah, and here's the thing: they didn't post it on the Wizard site. They may have done that now. They put it through D&D Beyond. It was only recently bought.
Yeah.
They wanted to be like, well, first, like the first goal was we wanted to include it from our content from being included in hateful and discriminatory products. Like, yes, please, fuck off with the all of the bigots.
Yeah.
Granted, Wizards and D&D has its own history, which if we go off on that, we'll go on for a huge tangent.
Yeah,
yes.
because Gary Gygax was a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gary Gygax was he was
a mid-20th century white guy. So at his best, he wasn't that good.
he was a bit of an NCAP. He was very much so racist. He made comments in D&D related forums that amounted to applauding genocide. So
wait, the guy who came up with the always chaotic evil black people wasn't good?
Yes.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Gary Gygax, the creator of Dungeons and Dragons.
The co-creator.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because the other guy wasn't bad and kicked him out of the company.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. They also say that they wanted to prevent stuff being from used in like blockchains and NFT stuff. So like basically they started out with like, oh, but we wanted to do all this good stuff, and like nobody's complaining about that.
No.
And what else did they? So they go off on that about it's like, oh, but look at all the good we wanted to do. And then they try to be like, oh, well, our principles never wavered, and et cetera, and people are pointing out, it's like, no, we kind of felt they did because we didn't have to report to you, how much we made before.
Mm-hmm.
There was no, oh, hey, we're going to collect royalties. There was no, oh yeah, the original OGL said it couldn't be revoked, and now they're saying, oh, we're saying it's not authorized anymore. So there's a lot of like legal talk on whether or not that can happen, including Paizo has said they're going to take Wizards to court over the OGL 1.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Another thing with that is this isn't the first time they've gone over this or gone through with this. The first time caused Paizo to become a company because that was 4th edition had an even more draconian, lack of a better term, OGL. It had a different name for the 4th edition.
A game system license.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Game sex location? GSL?
Yeah. But it was horrible, and like I can't believe they didn't learn their lesson.
Well, they did. They tried to keep it secret.
They make a lot of claims in here about how, oh, well, we released it to creators for them to comment on, and I haven't actually heard anything about that being what happened.
Yeah, it got leaked through oh god, what's the place called? Not GoFundMe, the other one, the one that companies go through.
Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter. It got leaked through Kickstarter because it was only sent to the higher ups in Kickstarter. And he's like, "This is bullshit," and leaked it, so people were aware.
So creators, but not really.
Yeah.
So highlight of something they put in here, which was kind of insulting, was you're going to hear people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won and so did we. Don't you want to be our friend? Like, don't you want to be a corporation's friend? Everybody.
This was Ugly Sonic all over again. It literally was a mistake that they created on purpose to make themselves try to look good.
And then they want to be like, oh, well, we like this is our.
No. I think this is more like New
typical
Coke.
corporate
They
politics
genuinely thought that this would be a good idea, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
I'm just giving them benefit of the doubt. Shoot.
There's a lot of people that have just, and I think a lot of it had to do with that thing of the OGL said in it that it couldn't be revoked. And there was actually, like, somebody pointed out, I think it was Dungeon Dudes actually did a very good video article on it, that there was like an FAQ back in 2001 or something. Somebody at Wizards actually answered a question saying that and now my brain fries. I'm sorry, my brain does not keep train of thought very well these days.
Welcome to the club. I think that's all of us, honestly, here.
Yeah.
What?
I have autism, and you're supposed to just, I guess with autism, you're supposed to just remember shit, but not.
I am very seriously beginning to think I also have like I'm autistic and I have some kind of ADHD, but that's a whole other thing.
It's like, oh, you won't be to work for 2 hours straight. Okay,
the comment was that they were replying to on the whole thing of the OGL couldn't be revoked was the Wizards at the time, let's back 2001, saying, hey, even if we came up with a new OGL, if we did things with it that players didn't want, the original OGL is worded so you could just ignore any new things and just use the old version of the OGL. So if we did something people didn't like, people would just ignore it and that wouldn't work. And that was done intentionally. And that was the comments back in like 2000. And this had to do with like 3rd edition and all that. But that is, and then they get this OGL 1.1, and part of the OGL 1.1 was a statement in it saying that the OGL 1.0 would no longer be considered an authorized license. That broke the trust of the OGL.
Yeah.
So a lot of the people that I've been interacting with, like I'm in a large scale, like paid game / D&D community. The GM / setting creator there is just at the point of trying to figure out how to get all of her stuff put into something else, possibly changing systems for the next campaign because of stuff like that, and also just the comment of new thing added to the OGL 1.1 of and this, of course, like they released that statement, and maybe they won't do this, but nobody's seen the finalized version yet. Nothing is official. And just like the way they released it, like they didn't release it on the official Wizards page, and other tidbits is just the trust is kind of broken. The thing about, oh, well, anything you create that is Dungeons and Dragons related, we own and we can just reprint, which a lot of creators are not happy about that because under the original OGL, they wouldn't be able to do that.
That's why I'm taking my system outside of doing an MDM's guild. I'm going to be like building out a different OGL or its own thing altogether. Because like I was originally making Dorphin Depths to be a DM's guild release, but not after this.
I'm gonna make my own system. It's gonna be like force and reflexes and constitution.
Just use GURPS.
Yeah.
GURPS is such a pain in the butt. Yeah. I tried playing a GURPS game. It is a real pain in the butt to figure out how you're supposed to play GURPS.
Did you have the bucket of dice needed?
Have what that was needed?
The bucket
of dice.
Oh, God, that requires so many dice.
I mean, it's not quite as bad as Warhammer 40k, but
I don't know. My friend had an attack in one GURPS campaign that required 423 dice.
Not that bad.
It's a hey, Von Rack. And yeah, like I love the Gark's like Discworld book. Ronald said that, yeah, but it was like so much better than like 3.0 and 3.5, so people loved it. Yeah, the Ronald was from Pine to like a Metro said like fourth edition was like a steaming dog dirt. This were
They balanced it. They made it so that everybody could have fun the whole time, rather than just the fighters for the first 4 levels and then the wizards for the next 16.
I've heard a lot of people who liked playing 4th edition. The main thing I've heard about 4th edition that really seems to have screwed it over was that whole game system license, and it discouraged people from creating more stuff to play the game with. And the constant, like, just, there's huge amounts of content out there, both paid third party and just free stuff people make and publish. That makes it so much more interesting to get into it and just be like, oh, hey, what's this person doing? Oh, hey, what's this person? There's like, oh, you hear about this other cool thing, and just making this huge thing. And that really seems to be like what the players of a lot of TTRPGs, TTRPGs. I've been seeing from like a lot of the comments and stuff want is that kind of almost anarchistic. I really
run around and be awesome rather than here's what you're allowed to do.
They really, TTRPG players seem to really want that kind of community vibe going where people are just constantly making stuff, and maybe like third party things make a little bit of money. They don't make a lot.
Yeah.
Even
I think the two things
doesn't make much money.
Yeah. Honestly, I loved 4th edition after I gave it a chance years after it came out. I think the two things that hurt it the most was as you said, the GSL, but also calling it Dungeons and Dragons. It was such a separate system. They should never have given it the same name.
They should just made a new game.
Yeah, it plays like a tabletop war game.
Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, we covered a lot about the worse than it goes to the situation. So let's go on to the next topic. Lynnaquin, did you hear of this new show called Velma?
I turned it off after 20 minutes.
Somebody was telling, is this the
but it's
one
supposed to be great because she's gay and brown now.
Wait, wasn't there 2 Velmas? There was the one where her glasses fogged up, and I don't know.
Well, we're talking about the recently released HBO Max a Velma that's supposed to be like the Scooby-Doo franchise, but like
the college years.
Shaggy's, but they're actually high school. They're canonically 15, which is part of the problem when this in the pilot episode of the show has a shower scene.
Not just a shower scene, that thankfully they're at least Barbie doll anatomy. I felt so gross through that whole scene.
Okay, so this goes beyond. It's from the sounds how you're describing this goes beyond typical anime shower scenes that sometimes are questionable why they're even in there.
Yeah, the whole time in the shower scene they're talking about sex in pilot episodes, and then Velma comes in covering her face cover, voice change and stuff. It was a weird reference to Mystery Inc., but in a very inappropriate spot. Beats the crap out of Daphne with an umbrella. Then asks her what her thought about colorblind casting was. Daphne saying that she's, as an Asian girl, she feels that she's okay with it, but it's a very thorny topic, can't be reduced down. Then they get into a little more of a fight to where there's a point where they almost kiss, and someone's like, oh, if this was a TV show, they'd have a steamy kiss now. And then Daphne opens up her Velma opens up her locker. A dead girl comes out with the brain scooped out. And it's like, oh no, Brenda's brains. And everyone gives her a bad look because they thought she was insulting the person who just died. That was one of the more mild scenes.
But no, the Guardian review says it's Mindy Kaling reintroduces the animated mystery solver for an older audience and gives her a string of fun, spooky, and sly new adventures. Scooby-Doo's Brainy Bud gets a spunky reimagining.
It's like, okay, they
older
didn't want to
audience
use...
sounds like That's code.
Yeah, it's meant for guys like me. That's what the scene was for.
It's literally Scooby-Doo flavored Family Guy.
Yeah.
And like,
wait, I thought they did that like 5 years ago.
Like, I don't
I distinctly
care.
remember Fred doing a Family Guy style just rant at someone. Just joke after joke after joke at the guy in the mask.
I'm not sure on that, but like, I'll be honest, I don't care that Shaggy's not called Shaggy because they just use his canonical name. The Shaggy's his nickname. Norval's actually the character's name. But like, the fact that at one point he says, "I'm betting it's drugs," turns to the camera a la The Office and says, "And I hate drugs and would never touch them," and blinks a few times.
Oh, Kaling is a JKR supporter? Fuck.
Yeah, like, killing is a horrible term.
JKR?
JKR, Jackass Karen Rowling's the author of Harry Potter. That term.
I guess I'm not as up to date on this stuff as I should be.
That's okay. You should ignore J.K. Rowling at all costs anyway.
Yeah.
We should, like...
She wrote a series of mediocre books for kids, and then she turned into a bigot.
And don't forget, the books were filled with anti-Semitic and racist stereotypes.
I've never read any of her books, so
Yep, same.
Nowadays, she's just writing transphobic murder porn.
Yes.
Under the name of the person who made conversion therapy.
Yep.
That's deliberate. She's doing there, honestly.
I mean, she lives in his hometown. I mean...
Yep.
Wait,
yeah.
So she wrote under the name Loveless? Lavos?
No, it's a Scottish dude.
Yeah, I forgot the actual name, but...
Okay, different part of that history.
Yeah. She's a horrible person. But, like, oh my goodness, like, this show, though, like, don't hate watch it. I'm going to say that. Don't give it the views. Like, I wish I could sue for my 20 minutes of life back.
I hate watching is just, I don't know why people do that. It's just bad for mental health anyway.
No, well, I disagree because sometimes when I'm stoned, I watch a lot of I shut dunk on a lot of shit where I'm actually just F-bombs,
Like, yeah. I gave it a chance because I'm a huge Scooby-Doo fan, and and
it's a black Velma and an Asian Daphne and a black Norville. And...
Velma's Southeast Asian in this,
right?
Yeah. But like, she's not even the first non-white Velma. Scoob did that and did it 100 times better. Like in Scoob, Velma wasn't white, but like.
Is it okay if I still have a crush on the original Velma?
Original Velma, yes.
Yeah. I mean, like...
Well, not really, because Velma's always been gay.
Yeah. So... Well, like, this isn't even the first gay Velma that is openly gay on the series. I mean, that's... Mystery Inc. had Velma in a straight-up lesbian relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
And it's okay to like for you to have a hot Velma too, because like people have just always had the headcanon of her being like either like gay or bi. So it's like so maybe she's unfortunately a lot of times they just like straight watch her to just be like straight as word. So like
if Birkenstocks had existed in the '60s, she would have worn them. Let's be honest.
Yes.
Don't know what that is.
It's a lesbian shoe.
Oh, okay.
They're not actually. They were just they became very much a lesbian vibe in the '90s.
Yes. Just like women who are huge fans of like a Xena Warrior Princess, which to be fair, Xena Warrior Princess is still.
They leaned into that. They just accepted it and they had fun with it. Like one point they go out and they say, and Xena says, "We're looking for some cunning linguists." They said, "We have a big gay fan base. We're just going to be big and gay."
Well done on them. I mean, compared... Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say what Ground just said. Yeah, it's literally Mindy... I can't pronounce her last name. The person playing... Mindy Kaling self-inserting herself into the series.
Yeah.
So, like... They even made her look like Mindy Kaling. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Velma was always short and thick, but
Yeah.
now she's brown.
but I mean, like
Short and thick.
facial structure too, like the facial structure.
Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Anyone
Like,
going to go see that? See the movie Megan? Is anyone getting ready to go see that?
I've heard very little about it. Something about a coat.
I want to see it, but I'm worried because of the one dancing in the trailer.
Mm.
Because that was
I know
kind
nothing
of
about
creepy.
this. What is this?
It's a horror film where it's AI robot who is supposed to defend this little girl takes it too far, like killing people. who are
Okay,
being
I've
close.
seen like the 5 seconds of ads before I hit the skip button for it.
Yeah,
I know what it is now.
it's just my kind of horror. So
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And you're a big fan of horror as well, Lynnaquin.
Just real quick, yes, Mithril, I have seen the receipts for Gina Carano's new movie, and it is delightful. Gina Carano and Ben Shapiro made a racist, bigoted movie, and they made $60.
oh god, that's
Oh yes,
beautiful.
somebody mentioned, just mentioned about Gina Carano's new movie bombed on co-host. So I was like, wait, she made a new movie. She got work after she got canned by
Yeah, but
LucasArts.
she's working with Ben Shapiro on the Daily Wire.
Yeah, I looked it up. I was like, so the Daily Wire made a thing, and I think it was like Rotten Tomatoes or something. I was looking at like the only like positive review they could post on it, the fucking quartering. So old Nazis like this film. Apparently, I know nothing else about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only work that Gina got now after like she was canceled. No, I have someone.
No,
I
she
know
was really effectively canceled for her anti-Semitic tweets.
Yeah,
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
She got
It
kicked
was the
off
anti-Semitism
Mandalorian. Disney
that
disowned her.
LucasArts
I
had
mean,
done.
and I look forward to her getting a serious drug habit and dying alone in her big house as a rich person.
Oh my!
Well, yeah, she still was able to get some work as were of like the Hunter Biden movie, as it were, and knowing like the kind of
Yeah,
work
they
that
got
she's
her and put her in
gotten-
that, even though she had no role, and she's like just randomly showing up to be like the narrator or some shit.
Yeah. So.
But you know that the old Nazis only like her because they say, you know what? She's big bone. She'd be really good at beating her kids.
Jeez. Gina Carano went from like Deadpool to now this. Oh gosh.
All she had to do was shut up and not do anti-Semitism.
Yeah,
It's like don't do the whole like victim like a marauder sort of thing of just like being playing the victim all the times and felt that Republicans are like just as prosecuted as the Jews. It's just like no, don't say that.
No, I kind of expect Rashida Jones and Mindy Kaling to get together with Gina Carano to make something that's just really, really shitty.
No, maybe.
I've been watching Star Trek: The Next Generation, and I'm on part 1 of Best of Both
Nerd.
Worlds.
nice.
Oh, Best of Both Worlds.
That's so good.
That's the Borg one with like Locutus and Borg, right?
Yes.
Oh.
The Summer of Pain.
Oh yeah, that was the
Where
season
Picard
finale.
officially turns bisexual.
Officially, I thought he always was.
No, but it wasn't official. I mean, he did go to the orgy planet at Riker's insistence, but they never showed anything.
I have the whole thing on DVD, so I'm just like waiting. Should I wait a couple months to then get the part 2, or should I just go to part 2 just right now?
You got experience in how
I can
we all
provide you
did.
with a link to a thing,
wait
but it
3
would be
months.
entirely illegal.
Do what-
You wouldn't download the fire exit into a lesbian bar, would you?
I'm gonna, because I'm thinking, should I wait till May to finish part 2?
If
Yeah,
you're
go ahead and watch it
willing to wait, unfortunately I can't have that anticipation as to where because I already know what happens. I mean, it's Star Trek Next Generation. That finale, the final like the series finale is the word. That's like a lot better than a lot of other TV shows. It's like finales, as it were, because like they had the ending and they had it like split across 3 timelines and Q is like central part of it, of course, which is one of the best parts of TNG.
Yeah, that Q actually ended up being the whole Q thing ended up bookending the series, didn't it?
Yes, because like, and here's the thing about like I learned about like the pilot episode of Next Generation Encounter at Farpoint, and that I think it was like Gene Roddenberry. That yeah, we have his problems with him, blah, but whatever. He wanted that to just be an hour episode, just an hour. It was the studio that wanted to be a 2-hour episode, and so then Gene Roddenberry had to like fill in time, and so that's how he created Q. So so how we got Q was just because the studio mandate of like forcing Gene Roddenberry to make a 2-hour pilot episode instead of a 1-hour pilot episode. So happy little accident, we got Q.
And then from then on, John Delaney was always just Q.
Yeah, exactly.
He's never played any other role. He's never done any other sort of acting. He's just
Discord. He's Discord from My Little Pony Friendship.
No, Discord is Q. Discord is just Q.
Discord is basically Q,
Yes,
but in
exactly.
the My Little Pony universe.
Yeah.
Very
But there's a
true,
reason
Jim
that Don Delaney does mostly live theater.
Oh, I'm sure he's great at it, honestly. Yeah.
But no, I do have to say that was one of my few favorite parts of Picard.
Q showing up in like the latest season.
Yeah, season 2, like.
Hey, Picard,
The
look,
ending-
just like you, I decided to look old. Doesn't that make you feel better, me looking old? This is fun. And not at all to do with reality.
I was Q was God, he wouldn't. Why would he get old? I don't know.
It's because the actor got old and they had to like include the actor.
And wave.
Like,
They could have de-aged him like they did Tarkin from Rogue One, couldn't they?
A little bit of a spoiler, but it was because the in-canon lore is because he's dying.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Did they have an excuse for Data?
It's just
No, they did. That was just Data wanted to figure.
Which I could see Data doing that.
Yeah, I can see Data doing
I mean,
that.
they do the thing in like the Star Trek finale you were talking about, where they show up Data and he's got like
With
this
white hair
streak, and his housekeeper is like, he looks like a blue skunk like that.
I gotta rewatch like Next Generation. I was going through like the first season, so yeah, when Riker not without the beard, and it got to like Code of Honor, and so I was like, oh god,
I've
black
heard
people
shit
episode.
about Code of Honor. I don't think I've seen it.
It's the episode with the black people.
It's the African. It's Fear of a Black Planet. That's what that is.
So you didn't make it even to the Native American episode.
No, I haven't yet, and I know that one's coming too.
Which Native American episode? Because
God.
the original series did that time.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, how many tan white girls did you go to the California beach to go?
Well, remember, they also got Ricardo Montalban to play Khan.
Yes, they did. Oh, I love that actor. Like even though in like apparently Star Trek the animated series, which many fans consider to be the 4th season of the original series Star Trek, as were in those like short episodes and animated, done with filmation, and they reused all those backgrounds for those planets for like He-Man later on. But they did actually have like an indigenous person to write one episode and had a canonically indigenous person on the crew for like Star Trek the animated series. So it's like again with like a lot of things with Star Trek, sometimes they do go steps in the right directions. They did many first. Uhuru a big prominent like a figure for civil rights and race representation, and Gene Roddenberry did go forth with the interracial kiss, with like it was heavily controversial. So. But at the same time, Gene Roddenberry also wanted to have like orgy on the set, or like Deanna Troy's character to have 4 boobs and be topless for some reason.
Please tell me. Sorry.
Gene Roddenberry like did want gay kissing, but he seemed to want gay kissing in the context of
He wanted women to make out.
Yeah, he just wanted orgies.
I have to ask, please tell me the indigenous written episode of the anime series was the one with Kizikoto.
I think so. I remember Steve Shives mentioned that in like one of his video essays on the animated series, and so I like we watch back to like those episodes as well.
It appears to be how sharper than a serpent's tooth.
Okay, yeah.
So Best of Both Worlds TNG came. The first one aired on June 18th, 1990,
Mhm.
and the second part was September 24th. So I guess with me, I'm just gonna play the second one on in May, like the first day in May.
You just made me feel old.
Yes, it was. I remember the 90s. Yes, I do.
I watched it when it was current.
I'm going to simulate the mood from back then when people like had to. Actually, I'm gonna actually ask that question. Like, how did people like react to the two-parter Best of Both Worlds? That gap between this, this two-parter is considered like the benchmark for TNG. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, go ahead.
We're approaching into about like the 90-minute mark of the show, as it were. So, like, this has been great, a lot of fun, a lot of good conversations about Wisdom of the Coast, Magic the Gathering, Dungeons and Dragons, and Velma, and like TNG and all stuff. But Lynnaquin, let's finish off the show like with discussing like some of your upcoming projects, like your what you coming up on the YouTube channel, your YouTube channel, and also like your subathon this Thursday. So go ahead and then take it away.
Sometimes on Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Subscribe to I have two YouTube channels, Lynnaquin.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll share the link in the live chat and to Lynnaquin as well.
I will definitely join the or follow your YouTube channels definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I just need a link.
I'll provide the link.
They are in the the description for this episode.
Yeah. There's descriptions.
Down there.
Tuesday, I am doing a subathon. I do a weird thing with subathons where I call them CCFK subathons. They're basically content, clothing, food kits, where I'm raising money for specific things. This one's going to be focused heavily on getting terrain for some upcoming YouTube videos, as well as we're getting some stuff for some YouTube videos or training for YouTube videos that I'm doing. I'll get to that in a second, as well as some clothing because I need new clothes. Like all around, most of my clothing is like kind of destroyed.
Yeah.
Because I'm poor. But like, so like I have a subathon. We're doing a community build for Fallout 4. Yes, Fallout 4 is my favorite video game. I won't deny it. That's my hot take. But we're doing basically. I chose a settlement. The community's going to like build along with me, whoever wants to, like the same community or settlement. This time it's going to be the Mechanist Slayer, so it's going to be kind of a challenging one. But also on YouTube, going to the YouTube part, I am currently, my channel finally achieved its final form goal in that I'm doing post-apocalyptic war game content, non-GW games specifically. Right now, like we're heavily focusing on Fallout Wasteland Warfare, which I'm also going to be including. Like I'm doing box reviews right now, but we're going to start a homestead settlement campaign, and eventually I want to do also Gaslands. Naz is painting up her cars right now for us to get ready for that, but that should be soon. If you're not familiar with
Nasneko is Lynnaquin's like that spouse. I also put like and she's a streamer in her own right. I'll put like Naseko's Twitch channel into the live chat right now. Go give her a follow.
Oh yeah, and then like the other two stuff that we're going to be doing on that channel, I want to do Don't Look Back, which is a horror tabletop game, and the last one, Monster Apocalypse. But we're focusing on non-GW games. I'm kind of cheating with Monster Apocalypse because that's Privateer Press, but the other three are smaller companies. So, but I'm definitely like focusing a little more. There's been a break in content with the new content because I got sick and I still have to do the voiceovers for the current three box reviews. But yeah, well, hopefully we're going to be getting battle reports up on the YouTube channel soon. And I stream a lot on Twitch, or not a lot, 3 days a week, but Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what's currently going on. Hopefully, I also get some like political commentary on like the game worlds. Like I have a bunch of scripts I want to go through that are going to be like talking about like the political meaning behind this part of this game setting. You know, like eventually I'll get around to the scripts.
Politics in video games? I like it when there's no politics in my military wartime shooter.
Well, what's great is
when I do my imperialism, it must be white and male.
Well, I have a great one for Age of Sigmar that's tying in modern football with gladiatorial combat and how both are just systems of the state to distract us from actually the real problems at hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
But like, eventually I'll get to all that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's like what you have like upcoming up. So everyone, please like check out the Lynnaquin's like YouTube channel. And yes, I'm a patron of Lynnaquin, so there's that in that as well. Don't forget the Lynnaquin's like a Twitch channel, and also like sometimes like Lynnaquin will like open up the comms for her trusted allies and friends to like join in the call. And so yeah, I will sometimes like join the call to talk about like political stuff, whatever's comes to my mind. I talk about Fortnite because like I can't stream Fortnite in the quality I want, so I want a place to talk about Fortnite that I can, I don't know, share my knowledge or vent about like my like matches as were. So that's coming up. And also yeah, that I can understand the pains of like finding clothing that's like in your size that like it's give you euphoria but it's expensive, and there's a lot of clothing that can give dysphoria that sucks dysphoria.
I have a tip with that. What I do is I bought like the clothes I wear is like denim, like old jeans, a graphic t-shirt, and usually and some Converses. That's like my 90s look there. And it's pretty cheap. You can just go to Goodwill and find something.
Shoot, why I go for is I just buy my own merch off of Stream Elements for like $15 because I get at cost. But I don't even have $15 to spend on merch or on the shirts. It's like, but like I do that because like their cuts don't give me dysphoria. So, and really quickly with what Sophia says, yeah, the followers of the apocalypse are definitely the closest to an anarchist group. But the reason they didn't show up in 4 is because they're a purely West Coast group in there. And canonically, even though canonically they show up in New Vegas, they're supposed to have died off in 2 because there's no way for them to actually, or no way to complete the good ending of the mission for them in 2 because the NPC was taken out. Sorry.
No problem. So
my favorite faction.
Yes,
that's a good faction. It's a really good faction.
Before we end the stream, I'm getting into alternative indie music.
Oh yes,
So you're branching out and exploring 2000s and mid-teens.
But this is like the early, the Riot Girl scene. It's from music kind of like.
So still 90s white girls.
Yes, that is the thing about like Zeta. Zeta is secretly a canonically white girl from the 90s.
This is just music that I enjoy. I don't know why.
You like what you like.
I mean, we're made of pumpkin spice and everything nice.
All the music we enjoy was originally made by black people. So
no, yeah, true.
Listen to German medieval metal, so I can't judge anyone's music.
And Isaiah with us in the Zoom call, like a YouTube channels were Velocity Girls. So yes,
these I think these are like Japanese musicians performing that.
Oh, so it's Gwen Stefani.
No, it's someone.
Sorry, that's a deep cut. But recently renewed, she doubled down on the being Japanese thing.
My music is the music stuff I like is very niche.
Yeah. I know nothing wrong with that. We are a niche audience anyway, as we're with like niche interests as we're. how long we were talking about tabletop like role playing games and like Masters of the Gathering and like Wizard of the Coast stuff.
Technically 80 minutes, I think.
Yes. So Isaiah, what do you have coming up on your two YouTube channels, Sinister Intelligence and like the Autistic Modeling Society?
There may be a video coming out this week on the Sinister Intelligence one about the Rosewood massacre, and then the video from my other channel is me installing the on the Titanic, the model kit I have. It's me installing these little vent things here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what Isaiah does. He'll take some models that you can buy as it were, but he also adds lights and other electronics to like the models to make them look all cool and light up and that sort of thing too. Isaiah Terra also has an Instagram where he shows off these models as well on like a culture 92. So follow his Instagram there. Tavi, I'll put you on spot. Do you have anything to promote other than just the? Well, go ahead, Isaiah. You finish.
Don't forget to share the avatar thing.
V-Roid and VC Face. Well, like, yeah, we'll share you links as to those programs as well. Yeah.
I was just gonna because we were talking about the OGL and stuff today. I can plug a thing a friend is promoting that is like a paid indie thing, right? I think we mentioned it earlier. The Magical Land of Yeld.
Yeah.
It's an all-ages TTRPG. It mostly plays with a whole bunch of D6s, and the other thing I was seeing on there looks like it also plays with basically a standard chess or checkerboard to keep track of things.
Nice.
It is queer as heck. I believe somewhere also on Drive-Thru RPG they already have like a free thing that's like magical mobility. It's all about accessibility and stuff.
Nice.
Lots of fun art. Characters who are in like the main story to introduce you to the world are canonically trans. It's just a fun good time. It is meant for all ages, but it is also have like some dark scariness. It's like you're a bunch of kids, you end up in the magical land of Yeld, you find out you can't get back, and if you stay until you're 13, you turn into a monster and you're stuck.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's explicitly just
That's
the
kinda
trans
cool.
life as a board game.
Kind of. When you put it that way, kind of.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that is a thing. My friends Maya Cross and Emma Void, Maya Cross aka Arson on a bunch of places, do promotional work for it, and it does help support them. And right now it's pay what you want, so you can get the core book for like $1.
I think about that.
So yep, I'll try to find like okay, yeah. Here's like if she's still like on Twitter, here's like Arson3 or our friend Maya's like Twitter as well, and like Emma Boyd if she's still on Twitter. I think she still posts like her going live stuff on Twitter as well because like Emma Boyd and Arson3 also stream as well, and I think the links to their like Twitch streams are like available into their Twitters as well. Arson doesn't stream that like much. Emma Boyd does like stream more. Emma Boyd also has her own YouTube channel as well. So yeah. Sure, the links to like those things can be found there as well. Yeah, and I think my friend Emma was telling me about like sword lesbians too. Lucidia
was mentioning sword lesbians.
Yes. Yes, queer community makes things better. Yes, I agree. So I'm Summer Geek on YouTube, which I have not posted a YouTube channel in like 4 months or so. I'll have to like remember to get back onto that in between other things. Summer Geek on Twitter, co-host. I am co-host.org. Tumblr and Twitch, and I'm going to be streaming like on Twitch after I get off the call. Probably because of the D&D talk and the fantasy stuff and like Wizards of the Coast and like Magic. I'm probably just going to play more Skyrim because like why the hell not?
Skyrim's fun.
Yes, Skyrim is fun. And don't forget the charity links page. That's where like Phoenix is like a GoFundMe and like Vimeo and like Cash App links and like PayPal and other things are in there, as well as a lot of other like people who need help right now, something like that. So like yeah, don't forget to share around those links as much as possible. Share the links page. And now, John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you? Speaking of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, we Dungeons and Debacles. We are no longer well, we're still cops, but we're no longer slaughtering civilians wholesale.
That was a thing for a while.
Mm-hmm. We were unhappy about that. So now it's fun again, and somewhat different from this. Dungeons and Debacles.com. It's a podcast.
Yes. Heck of a lot of fun. Very different from this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it.
As you can see from the meme I put up in the thing, stags are awesome. They take out fox hunters. So to our British comrades, Mithril, if you can go ahead and start slaughtering people taking part in fox hunts, that would be great. The aristocracy is evil and needs to be murdered. I am advocating for their murder. I am saying that you should commit crimes.
I was waiting for the in Minecraft or in Fortnite sort of thing too, because like, are you really going to do a successive terrorism? They're fox hunters.
Dress up as a deer and hunt the hunters. Yes.
I'm just not going to say anything because I'm still hiding in a place that is not at all friendly to trans women.
Florida.
No,
Arizona, but specifically, I'm not going to specify exactly where, but I'm in one of the denser red areas of Arizona.
America.
I'm not in any of the. Yeah, I am near the places where you see on the news about angry white dudes showing up with guns at voting drop boxes. So
let's see. I can just list all the states where that happens. In alphabetical order: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida. I'm just listing all the states now.
I know, but it is like if it is the wild thing of I went to a furry convention recently in Phoenix and it was fucking wild. I got to use a public bathroom without looking over my shoulder and worrying about who was seeing me use a public bathroom.
That's nice.
I'm not even fucking joking. That was like, okay, it wasn't like the only highlight, but that was one of the highlights of the trip, is that I got to use the bathroom and nobody gave a shit. And I was not worried that somebody was going to take offense to me using the bathroom.
No pun intended, giving a shit in bathroom.
Yeah. I usually do not get to have that experience where I live. I just do my stuff without using bathrooms when I go out, and I just use the bathroom at home.
I need to stop looking at the memes.
You should watch more of this like a show, but like this is on YouTube, so like you can see all the archive like live streams from before. Again, you can see all the memes that John Brockman posts in the video feed, as it were. So yes, and on that sentiment of like feeling safe to poop in the public bathroom finally at a furry convention.
I'm not even making this up. It's like
no. We get it. Furries love when trans people poop. It's a whole thing.
John Brockman, jeez.
But mostly just no. What I was kind of trying to highlight there, and just like when we were talking about like TERFs making shows like the new Scooby-Doo thing and stuff, and like. Yeah. I would like to be able to go out in public and not worry about being clocked by the wrong person in a place where I know angry white supremacists carry guns. I would like to be able to be like, oh, hey, there's this like different things going on at the library. I feel like I can safely go to those without running into somebody who might later take offense to my existence. TERFs fucking want us dead. They are promoting shit that is getting us killed. They should be driven out of society to being a danger to fucking
be
everybody.
Be fair to Rowling. She just wants you to be electrocuted until you agreed to stop.
I don't know. Her new video game is very scary.
Yeah, we talk about like Hogwarts Legacy and the guy who created that. He's like,
he was too much into that rabbit hole, but isn't there like a fuck ton of anti-Semitism in that game?
It literally plays off of the
so yeah.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's basically you're trying to suppress an elf rebellion or elf workers rebellion by killing them.
It's a right wing douche canoe like anti a Gamergate or anti SAW YouTuber that.
So
like,
they're
is
doubling
ahead of
down
that
even harder on the pro-slavery message of the books.
Yep, and the anti-Semitic messages.
Somebody was explaining to me there was also like a thing about.
Wait. Are the goblins using the elves as labor to destroy the wizards? Is that what's going on here?
The goblins are convincing the elves not to work for the wizards and to demand.
Oh my god! It is literally the
pay.
Jews using the blacks as labor to destroy the white man. The video game.
Yeah,
And this is currently one of the highest selling things on fucking Epic.
it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's like like when people were talking about the original story coming out, because like you're trying to quell workers' rebellion.
It is the thing of like I was ranting about turfs and turfs not making me feel safe, but you find a turf, you find an anti-Semite, you find a white supremacist.
Yep.
Welcome to
Scratch the
Hogwarts.
turf.
We recently moved to Alabama because they're more friendly to our kind here. Yes, we are worried about the servile insurrection. Now, don't get me wrong, them slaves is happy, but if some outside agitators came in, they could get them upset, and they might do a bit of violence. They're prone to that kind of thing.
I mean, you say that, but it's like it was not that long ago. I'm not sure what happened with this.
No,
but I
I'm
was
just
reading
deliberately quoting people from today. I mean,
yeah, that they were trying to get like history textbooks written to take the word slavery out of it and call it indentured servitude instead.
Yep,
involuntary.
that was in
workers.
my state.
Yeah. Oh no, sorry.
That wasn't
Involuntary
ranting.
immigrants.
I'm
I think is
just-
what they wanted to call them, something like that.
God damn.
Yeah.
That was Indiana doing that. So
So
Yeah.
And on that note, everybody have a happy Sunday.
Everyone, take care of yourself. Protect yourself to the best ability of your process. Of your process. It's like,
And if you can, and if you feel safe doing so, buy a gun to defend yourself when the U.S. collapses into fascism.
Yes.
But wait until it actually does. Don't go proactive. No terrorism.
It's find your local John Brown Gun Club and Socialist Rifle Association if you want to learn how to like use guns properly and safely, as well as like maybe if you have the means to and like have the ability to join in community defense as well, or like other kind of like activities like that as well.
And join a worker
like,
co-op and just find a small little community and protect yourselves and be safe.
This don't forget to practice like a mutual aid and like praxis and like help to give others his word. Yes. And highness, yes.
And buy a haunted, rambling Victorian home that you can all live in.
Yeah.
Has to be haunted.
Or an alpaca farm.
don't
Has
forget
to
to
be
learn how to
haunted by
farm.
Eleanor Roosevelt because she was gay and awesome.
Don't forget to. Right. Don't forget to learn how to farm and sew too.
Yes.
And blacksmith.
If you have the ability to. Yeah,
And how to
pickling
make
food
abortion
is also
drugs.
like pickling foods is also a good way to like make the food last longer.
Pickling, salting, smoking, and drying. Yep. All right.
All right. Later, everyone.